Okay, let me take you through what I've done here. I do have a tendency to talk kind of slow, so um, you know, feel free to accelerate the playback speed if you'd like. All right, so here, this is a pretty normal looking origin in Fusion 360. So the first thing I did was to create a sketch here, and we've got two concentric rings. I dimensioned the outside to 70 millimeter diameter and the inside to 60. Um, you're going to need to measure your tailstock and figure out what it should be, and then extruded that in a normal fashion. So there's our ring, um, and then um, the next thing I did was to create a construction plane. And let me show you what the specification looks like that. For that, we'll edit that feature. So the face is outside of the ring and this is a tangent plane. So I specified tangent plane, and then it needs to know the face, which is the circular feature on the outside of the ring. It also needs to know the reference plane, and that was this center in here, and then the angle was 0. So now we've got a construction plane on the outside of this ring that we can sketch on, and that was the next operation. So we created let's see, what did we do here? There it is. Why isn't it showing? There we go. So there's our second sketch, and you can see it's nothing more than a rectangle. I think I have specified 16 millimeters in length and 2.2 millimeters wide. And I used a center rectangle and used this edge of the ring as the center. So now that's one of the tick marks. Then the next thing to do was to extrude that into the ring itself. So let's turn off the construction plane and turn off the sketches, and you can see that that's what's been done here. Just for grins, let's look at that feature. So it was simple. It was a -2 millimeter extrude as a cut, and that was all that was. So that was pretty simple. I'm going to turn sketches back on here because we're going to need them here in a minute. Then the next thing was to do a circular repeat of that feature. And this is a pattern, circular pattern, which you can find right here. This one here. So here were the specifications for that. I was doing a repeat of a feature and selected, this feature right here, and then the axis was this center axis right here, a full rotation, and I specified 360 of them, thinking this is a 360-degree circle. Obviously, your lathe dials are probably not that. You may have two. You may have one for inches and one for millimeters. And the number of tick marks you want around the circle is going to vary depending upon how your ring is actually constructed. So that's what got us those long tick marks around there. And then the next thing I did was I wanted to start working on the intermediate tick marks between the larger graduations. And to do that, I created another sketch plane. You can see it here. And if you look at the side, you'll see it's on an angle. It's tangent to the outside of the ring, but it's at an angle. And let me show you how I did that. So I specified a 1 degree angled offset from the reference plane here in the middle. Um, and we've got that now. We can turn off the other one, but we have now a sketch plane that we can put other features on that are 1 degree offset in terms of clocking rotation around the center axis. So the next thing I did was I created another sketch, and it's right here. Let's see if we can turn it on. You can see it right there. Let me turn off the origin. That's the sketch, and it's nothing more than a line on that axis, origin axis. And the reason I wanted that is I wanted to be able to project that out to this plane so that I can use that as a reference for the geometry that I'm going to create with another sketch on this plane. So the next thing I did was actually do that. I created a sketch here. First thing, let's see if we can. So it's right here. But as you can see that purple line in there, let me turn off the construction plane. If you see that purple line, that's this feature here that I had drawn before, projected out to that construction plane that's 1 degree off in rotation. And then I used that with a center point rectangle to create another rectangle here on that sketch plane that's narrower. So in this one was specified as 12 meters, millimeters. This one's 6. So you can probably guess what's next. We'll finish that sketch. The next thing was to let me turn off the sketches here. Was to extrude that into the ring again with another cut feature 0.2 millimeters deep. That ought to be pretty understandable. And then the next thing is another circular pattern, but I didn't go all the way around. You'll know why here in a minute, but I did create 9 tick marks here in between these 2 longer tick marks. So I'll show you the spec on that. It's actually 10 tick marks. Sorry about that. So again, doing a circular pattern of features around this object using this center axis here again of the origin as the rotation axis. It's a partial distribution across 9 degrees with 10 units, and that's what gets this those etchings in there. Then the next thing was I wanted the center mark longer than the 4 on either side of it, and to do that I used an extrude command, and I simply took this face of that center feature and did another cut extending it 2 millimeters out. So now we have a long center line, not as long as the outside, but I think you get the point. And then the next thing was to circular pattern all of these features from this one here to this one here, all the way around in a circle. And we'll do that here. Now this takes some time, as you can see down here, because it's got to compute all the geometry around there and all the tangencies and all that. It's kind of compute intensive. Once it gets done, I'll show you the actual spec on that circular repeat. But here, let's take a look. So full rotation again, 36 of them. I picked up all of these features, as you can see, and that's what we got. Now, in terms of laying text around here, You can certainly do it this way by creating construction planes all the way around the perimeter here, offset however many degrees that are necessary. A better approach might be to lay down your text as a text string and then use that to apply the text to the outside surface of the ring, uh, using one of the edges of the ring as the flow pattern for the text. And if you want some suggestions on how to do that, let me know. Um, it's a different technique than I'm using here, but hopefully this will get you started. Let me know if this helps. Thanks.